Good afternoon. Welcome to the standing meeting, Cape Cod Commission. Any of you who have cell phones, I would ask that you turn them off so that it doesn't interfere with our proceedings. First matter on the agenda is roll call. Secretary.
Barnstable, William Richardson. Vaughan, Michael Bland. Present. Brewster, Elizabeth Taylor.
Present.
Chatham is vacant. Dennis, Richard Roy, present. East End, Joy Brookshire. Falmouth is vacant. Harwich is vacant. Mashpee, Ernest Virgilio.
Present.
Orleans, Len Short.
Present.
Provincetown, Austin Knight. Sandwich, Joanne O'Keefe.
Present, sir.
Truro, Peter Brand.
Here.
Wellfleet, Roger Putnam. Yarmouth, John McCormick Jr.
Here.
County Commissioner Mary Pat Flynn. Minority Representative John Harris.
Here.
Native American Representative is vacant. Governor's appointee Herb Olson. And we have the quorum.
Thank you. Next matter on the agenda is public comment on any matters that are not listed on the agenda for today. Seeing none, the next matter is the Executive Director's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Patty Daly. I'm the Deputy Director, and I'm here on behalf of Paul Nitzwicki today. The first thing that Paul asked me to share with you is that we have 2 new hires. And some of you have met John Eidman. Thanks, John. He's our new CRO, running our regulatory department. And John was raised on the Cape. He received his BA from Boston University and his law degree from Penn State via Dickinson School of Law. And John's been practicing on the Cape in the areas of land use and zoning for quite some time. So we're very happy to have him on as our Chief Regulatory Officer. And I wanted to introduce you all to him and welcome him here. The second new hire that we have is in our GIS department. It's a GIS analyst position, and his name is Sean Goulet, and he started on November 7th. And Sean is a University of Connecticut grad with a BA in Coastal Studies, and has for some years now been an environmental consultant at Malone and McBroom in Connecticut. And we're very pleased to have him with us as well. He has a great skill set that I think is going to be a real asset to our GIS department, especially as we expand on not only mapping but also analytics. So happy to have Sean on board. Since your last meeting, which was in October, there have been a few things going on. We are continuing the Acela training for the e-permitting project that's going on. So we have 4 pilot towns across the Cape that are going to be implementing electronic permitting, licensing, and inspection. And that's expected to be rolled out in about April. We're also submitting a new Community Innovation Challenge grant to extend that program to some more pilots in the coming year. So we're allowed to ask for another additional $200,000, so we're going to be making that request to the state to continue to roll out that e-permitting project. We also held an alternatives conference on wastewater treatment alternatives, and that was held with our partners at the EPA and the Water Alliance, and I think there was a very good turnout at that. I think people were excited to see that we're looking beyond just traditional infrastructure and really looking at alternatives that we might be able to employ to bring down cost and increase the sustainability of our solutions to our wastewater issues going forward. And then finally, also in the wastewater vein in October, we attended a one-day conference or workshop at Harvard Graduate School of Design in what's called the ZOFNES program. And what ZOFNES is it's similar to the LEED certification for buildings, but they're looking for criteria by which to judge infrastructure and how sustainable, environmentally sound, energy efficient, that different kinds of infrastructure can be. And they chose the Cape as an opportunity to use us as a demonstration project around wastewater alternatives going forward. So we were very happy to meet with the folks at Softness up at Harvard and kind of present some of the solutions we've been looking at, and they're going to take that range of solutions and run them through their criteria and double check their criteria at the same time, and see how their system is kind of measuring up for indicating sustainability and infrastructure. Then in November, I mentioned already the CIC application for e-permitting. There was a groundbreaking at Hydroid, which you all permitted very recently. Very nice groundbreaking, and JD joined me at that. And we got to put on the hard hats and pick up the shovels and get our picture taken. But very happy to see Hydroid going forward, and I think in about a year that facility should be finished and providing excellent jobs on the Cape. We have had meetings with the mall owners in the 4 big malls on Route 132 in Hyannis, which has been really interesting. So a ton of Barnstable asked us to come in and help them to work with mall owners to envision how those properties might be redeveloped, how additional development potential might occur there, and they're already developed areas. We want to keep the value of those mall properties high. You may have read that there's been some shifting going on. That Kohl's is coming into the old Stop and Shop site at the mall in Southland. Old Navy's moving over to the old Filene's home store at the Kmart Plaza, or the Cape Town Plaza. And we are told there's a Whole Foods coming into the old Borders bookstore. So there's a lot going on in Hyannis, and very pleased to be asked by the town to work with them to help to figure out how redevelopment can happen in that corridor to keep the economic value there and to keep that lively and all leased up, if you will. And just also an update on our recent staff meetings. We've started bringing in outside visitors to speak with our staff once a month. They've been great programs. We've had Senator Wolf, we've had Dorothy Savarese from Cape Cod 5. At the most recent meeting, we had Mike Luff from the Cape Cod Hospital. So these are opportunities for the staff to understand how our work really fits into the community and how it impacts the community, and to understand our community better, which will help us to do our jobs better. So December is going to be an internal meeting, but in January we are going to have George Price come in and talk about the history of the National Seashore, and look forward to talking with him. And then my last item, I don't want to take too much time, but this Cape-wide Solid Waste Advisory Committee has met. We have on the table some quotes for prices from Waste Management, another firm, E.L. Harvey off Cape. The only prices we don't have on the table quite yet are from CMAS, Covanta. And the group just met on Wednesday, yesterday, and agreed to enter into a 45-day exclusive negotiating period with CMAS. So myself and attorney John Giorgio, who is working with us, will be sitting down with CMAS over that time period, coming to terms over costs and some other contract terms, and then we'll be bringing that back to the towns. And that's a non-binding negotiation, but the idea has been that if we work together and pool our waste assets, if you will, that we can strike the best deal possible for the town. So I expect by mid-January we'll know pretty much what our options are going forward, and the towns will be able to make some decisions. And that is my report.
Thank you. I'll just add one thing to the Hydroid groundbreaking, which I found extremely interesting, but it's part of our mission to participate and enable the opportunities for job creation here on the Cape. And I was very pleased to hear the president of the company, Mr. Van Alt, indicate that they would be named somewhere between 80 and 100 software engineers. So all of those who know software engineers, you should spread the word. Because certainly in about 6 months or so, he will be out looking for them, and so he should be warning people in advance of that. And that's a very important aspect of the Cape, and not only keeping it a special place, but a special place where high-paying jobs are created. The next item on the agenda is the minutes. I would entertain a motion to approve the October 11, 12 minutes.
So moved. Second. Mr. Chairman, a slight correction. Minutes on page 4, top of the page, Colby is saying that the draft decision, the benefits far outweigh the benefits. How if I said that?
What did you say?
I think I said the benefit far outweigh the detriment.
Any further corrections? So with that adjustment, to have an approval of the minutes. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing, but before we proceed with that, we'll point out that all those who wish to make a statement on this hearing, that they should now stand so that I can swear you in. I hope that you can hear me. Excuse me. Following I, state your name. I
I, Jonathan Ide,
swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you. Now there's a public hearing on the Barnstable Airport notice of intent to file a development agreement. Mr. Secretary, would you read the hearing notice, please?
Hearing notice, Cape Cod Commission. Notice of intent to file a development agreement for Barnstable Municipal Airport.
Excuse me. The Cape Cod Commission will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, November 29th, 2012, beginning at 3 p.m. in the 1st District Court Assembly of Delegates Chamber, Route 6A, Barnstable, Mass. This hearing will be held pursuant to Section 14 of the Cape Cod Commissions Act, C. 716 of the Act of 1989 as amended, and the Commission's Development Agreement Regulations, Section 5B, Barnstable County Ordinance 92-1 as amended. The purpose of this hearing will be to consider a notice of intent to file a development agreement for the Barnstable Municipal Airport for the proposed master plan improvements. This notice is being published in accordance with Section 5 of the Cape Cod Commission Act.
Thank you. Zenas?
Good afternoon. For the record, Elizabeth Enos, Regulatory Officer with the Commission. I'll be presenting on the Notice of Intent to File a Development Agreement for Barnstable Municipal Airport.
Sure.
So I will be going over the purpose of the development agreement, the process, a description of the project, and the regulatory committee's findings and recommendation. A development agreement is a tool for the Commission, municipalities, state agencies, and developers to define the scope and substance of proposed developments. It assures the developer applicable review regulations will not change over the construction period. It encourages the developer to plan comprehensive projects that provide benefits earlier in the project. And pursuant to Section 2 of the Commission's Development Agreement Regulations, the development as specifically described within an approved development agreement shall not be required to be subject to further DRI review. For the Barnstable Municipal Airport Master Plan, the Barnstable Municipal Airport Commission is the qualified applicant and pursuant to Section 4 of the Development Agreement Regulations. The applicant has chosen to participate with the Commission and the Town of Barnstable in its development agreement, and written correspondence from Joanne Miller-Bundich, Director of Growth Management for the Town of Barnstable. She states that the project appears to be consistent with the Commission-certified 1997 Barnstable Comprehensive Plan, and further, the Town of Barnstable has adopted a bylaw to allow development agreements with the Commission as required by these regulations. Pursuant to Section 5 of the regulations, the applicant submitted a notice of intent to file a development agreement application to the Commission on October 5, 2012. The Regulatory Committee shall determine that the proposed development is suitable and qualifies for the development agreement process. And if it is deemed suitable by the full Commission, the applicant will have 1 year from the date of the full Commission's determination to file a development agreement application with the Commission. On this slide, we have a map of the proposed project, and even though you can't see it, that's the extent of the development that they're proposing. It consists of construction of general aviation and corporate hangars, or modification of existing facilities resulting in up to 175,000 square feet of additional hangar space at the east ramp, construction of up to 35,000 square feet of additional hangar space at the north ramp, expansion of the east apron to facilitate general aviation aircraft parking, expansion of the north ramp apron, and the leasing of the former Mildred's restaurant site. The purpose of these projects is to increase the safety of airfield operations, meet existing demand for aircraft parking, and provide opportunities for private commercial development of hangar facilities. Design standards established through a development agreement will streamline the process for private development of hangar facilities and ensure consistency with local planning requirements. And reconstruction of taxiways will be prioritized due to safety concerns and is likely to occur in 2014 through 2016. And development and/or redevelopment of hangar facilities will be dependent upon private funding and is projected to occur in 2014 to 2022. The project designs are in the conceptual phase, and the reconstruction of taxiways will come first, and other improvements will take place later. Pursuant to Section 5 of the Development Agreement Regulations, the Regulatory Committee shall determine whether the proposed development is suitable and qualifies for the development agreement process, and shall make its recommendation to the full Commission. In making its determination, the Committee considered the factors that are listed on this slide, and as outlined in the letter from Commission staff to the Regulatory Committee dated October 29, 2012. Further, the Airport Commission committed to work with the Cape Cod Commission towards the creation of a development agreement to govern future projects on the airport property as part of the Cape Cod Commission's January 25, 2007 DRI decision as modified, and the applicant submitted a final EIR to NEPA, and a certificate was issued on October 26, 2012. Stating that the final EIR adequately and properly complies with the Mass Environmental Policy Act. And finally, the Regulatory Committee received written testimony from Joanne Miller-Bundich, Director of Growth Management for the Town of Barnstable, and supported the proposed project's participation in the development agreement process. And copies of this were included in the Commission's mailing as well. Based on those considerations, at the November 5, 2012 Regulatory Committee meeting, the committee voted unanimously that the proposed development is suitable and qualifies the development agreement process, and to make its recommendation to the full Commission. If the full Commission determines that the project is suitable and qualifies, the applicant will have 1 year from the date of the full Commission's determination to file a development agreement application with the Commission. And at this point, I would ask you to deliberate on this, and if you find that it is suitable and qualifies, you can make a motion to that effect.
Thank you. We would like to now hear the applicant's presentation.
We have nothing to add.
Nothing to add? Did we note that? Very good. Oh, he's changed his mind.
I can't be held back from the microphone. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Joe Longo, Principal Engineer with the Horsley Witten Group, here on behalf of the Barnstable Municipal Airport Commission. I think Liz did a fine job summarizing the application. We've been through the MEPA process, as she stated, so our environmental impact report is completed, certified by the state, so we're ready to move into this development agreement process. Quick bit of history, this came about in 2007 Terminal Improvement Project, TRI. A condition that was put to that decision was that the airport come forward with a development agreement to go over what is synonymous with a master plan or a build-out for the airport. So that's why we're here now. We're looking at the projects that could be undertaken over the next 10 or 15 years, for instance, for hangars or runways or taxiway improvements that may be made. So I think that's it. I think we've been in front of the Regulatory Commission, and I think we've talked to, well, I don't think I should say we have, spoken with the town of Barnstable, with the Growth Management Department, and we'll be seeking a three-party agreement between the Commission, the airport, and the town. So, thank you. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. All right, well, Commissioners, do you have any questions by the presentation? Yes,
I have no question. I have a motion to make.
proceed.
I would like to move that the Cape Cod Commission adopt the recommendation of the Regulatory Committee.
Before you do that, sorry,
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Chair.
Double the here.
I'm sorry. Would you like to take public testimony, federal, state, local officials,
Yeah.
and then members of the public?
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, you know, us ex-chairs always do this. That's why they now make me read everything. I would now entertain any comments from the public. From town, state, federal. Seeing none.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to close the hearing in the record.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we close the hearing in the records. Any further comments? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? So moved. Excuse me. I would now ask that a potential motion be brought forth.
Yes, I'd like to move that the Cape Cod Commission adopt the recommendation of the Regulatory Committee in approving this application for the development agreement.
Second.
It's been moved and second, excuse me, that the proposed Barnstable Municipal Airport development is suitable for consideration as a development agreement with the Commission. Any further comments, remarks? Seeing none, all those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Thank you. There's no standing ovation. Thank you. The motion carries. We shall proceed to the next item on the agenda. The next item is a public hearing for the Casset Yacht and Country Club final hearing and draft decision. This is a continuing hearing from November 15, 2012. And I would invite Mr. Edmund to present the draft decision.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, John Eidman, Chief Regulatory Officer.
I was the hearing officer on the hearing in the underlying town in which the development is proposed, Wellfleet, and so I'll be presenting the recommended decision to you this evening. Elizabeth Enos was the project lead on that project, however. You can proceed, Liz, thanks. The project site is a 106-acre parcel located 680 Chequesset Neck Road in Wellfleet. It's the location of the Chequesset Yacht and Country Club, which is a longtime local Wellfleet institution. The applicant and landowner, the Chequesset Yacht and Country Club Trust, which I'll refer to as the club throughout, proposes a land division which will create an additional 1.149 acre building lot. I'll refer to that as Lot 76 at times throughout this discussion. That's anticipated to be offered for sale to a bona fide third-party purchaser to fund club operations. And it will most likely be sold for single-family residential dwelling use. Right now, Lot 76 is presently undeveloped. Another component in this project is 2 additional parcels, Lots 78 and 79, which you'll see on some of the plans which are in your packets, which total approximately 100,000 square feet, are proposed to be created, and they will be conveyed to the Wellfleet Conservation Trust in fee simple in order to satisfy the Cape Cod Commission Regional Policy Plan open space requirements. Other than this lot division itself, no actual development is proposed at this time. How did we get here? The project qualifies as a mandatory DRI pursuant to Section 3C of the enabling regulations, which provides that any development that proposes to divide parcels of land totaling 30 acres or more in common ownership or control on or after September 30th, 1994, including assembly and recombination of lots, qualifies as a mandatory development of regional impact. And of course, the project site here is 106 acres, and therein lies the jurisdiction. The applicant applied for a joint limited DRI and DRI review, so we've undertaken a joint hearing process on that, and seeks approval of both those requests. A public hearing was indeed held in Wellfleet, the Wellfleet Public Library, before myself as the hearing officer and with Ms. Enos as the project lead on November 15th. We took testimony, reviewed both applications, and we had the benefit of a staff report which was prepared by staff. In that staff report, it was recommended that the project should be limited to the sole issue area of open space protection and recreation. And further, that scoped or that limited DRI could be approved with conditions. Staff has now prepared the draft decision, which is before you, and it recommends basically the same conclusions, that the scope of review should be limited to open space protection and recreation, and that limited DRI should be approved with conditions, which are contained in the decision. This slide basically lays out some of the standards for limited DRI review. Those standards have actually been reduced to a scoping checklist, which you are familiar with. It basically sets out the RPP issue areas and sub-issue areas, and there's a number of yes or no questions associated with those issue areas. By answering those questions yes or no, you see whether an issue area or sub-issue area actually applies. However, even if an issue or sub-issue area applies, the Commission may still find that it's not necessary to review a particular issue or sub-issue area. After that analysis was completed, staff recommends that this project be limited to the sole issue area of open space protection and recreation. The required findings for approval, and these are located in the decision. The Commission must find that, as recommended, the DRI be limited to that sole issue area of open space protection and recreation. The other findings which are required are found in Section 13D of the Act, and that section also states that the Commission shall approve or approve with conditions a DRI if the Commission finds that 1, the probable benefit of the proposed development is greater than the probable detriment. 2, the proposed development is consistent with the RPP and certified local comprehensive plan. 3, the proposed development is consistent with municipal development bylaws. And finally, should be approved or approved with conditions if the proposed development is located in whole and part within a designated DCPC, that it is consistent with the regulations or approved or adopted by the commission for that DCPC. To those ends, the Wellfleet Town Planner has provided testimony that the development is consistent with the LCP and municipal development bylaws such as subdivision laws and zoning bylaws. Further, the proposed development is not located in a designated DCPC. There has not been a designated DCPC in Wellfleet. And finally, based on the staff report and the decision, staff suggests that the proposed development, as conditioned, is consistent with the RPP and should be limited to the issue area of open space protection and recreation. Finally, in conclusion, staff recommends that the commission adopt the draft decision which is before you, subject to any revisions which you direct staff to make. This would approve the proposed development as a limited development of regional impact, limited to that sole issue area of open space which we discussed, with conditions. The major condition of approval in this particular project involves the conveyance of that open space, 100,000 square feet, to the Wellfleet Conservation Trust in order to satisfy that issue area of open space. The one hole I would suggest in the decision now, the draft decision, is that the commission must make a finding as to the probable benefit of the project and any probable detriment if applicable. So those are discussion points and findings that the commission has to make at this time. And once you make those, once you have that discussion, you could direct staff to revise the decision as you recommend. And if you so choose, you could make a motion to adopt the decision with the changes that you recommend, especially concerning the probable benefit or detriment as applicable. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now ask the applicant for their presentation on this project.
Hi, my name is Barbara Boone. I'm the general manager of Tequesta Yacht and Country Club. I don't really have anything to add to what Mr. Eidman has presented. He presented the project pretty much in whole. I'm here more to answer questions and to help enlighten you on anything you have any questions with. I am happy to be at this point in the process and look forward to getting this resolved today. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now invite questions, comments from the commission members. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In reading through the documentation, this is an enormous amount of paperwork and dotting the i's and crossing the t's that I have in the packet. I think that your summation was to the point. But I have one question. I heard you say limited. If you could just give me an explanation of limited and what your connotation of that is in the summation. Thank
Sure.
you, Mr. Eidman.
Certainly. Limited entails the fact that the sole issue area, which we would, as staff, recommend that the commission review is open space protection and recreation. And further, that is being satisfied with a conveyance of land to the Wellfleet Conservation Trust. That's also to say that things like affordable housing, land use, water resources, and other issue areas and sub-issue areas of the regional policy plan either do not apply, or even if they do apply, do not create impacts on the resources protected by the Act or the RDP. I hope I answered your question. Okay, thank you.
John, I have a question for you also. The other evening, you were at the restoration, Haringbrook Restoration meeting, and there was discussion from people who were in that area. And I'm just concerned about the sale of that saleable lot. And will that come back to bite us in terms of people who might possibly buying that lot and trying to build on that lot?
Well, that's a lot to chew on, and I'm also looking over at our council, and I don't know how much I should comment on another project that's before the commission on a project that's before you. I will say here that in terms of buildability, we've gotten evidence from the town planner that this complies with municipal development bylaws. So usually buildability is a determination at the local level. So I don't see a problem with that if that's what you were getting at.
Basically, yes, that is what we're getting at.
Okay.
Would it help if I commented on that?
Absolutely.
Okay, sure. Barbara Boone again. Mr. Short, we chose that particular parcel for sale because obviously we're involved with the Herring River Restoration Project, being in a butter. We chose that particular lot of land because it is one of the furthest pieces of land away from the Herring River Restoration Project, and is on a very high area that we own. And so it won't, unless we're in a lot more flood zone than we think, we won't be impacted at all. We chose it because it is in one of the few areas of our property that, I shouldn't say few areas, one of the areas that is not being considered for any sort of impact by that project. Thank you.
Thank you.
I should add, it's all currently upland now as well.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just curiosity, the two lots that are being conveyed to Conservation Trust, are they part of a previous subdivision? Is that why there's two lots rather than just deed one parcel out?
No, in fact, they're two newly created. They are to be two newly created lots. They haven't been created yet because that municipal jurisdiction to issue permits and approvals has been suspended during our review. Frankly, I don't understand why they were set off as two lots rather than one large 100,000 square foot parcel, but honestly, for our purposes, it really doesn't make a difference. And I know the Wellfleet Conservation Trust has actively been working with the applicant, and that's really a determination decision as between the trust and the applicant.
Just curiosity, thank you.
Barbara, do you want to add
Yeah, I
something?
can help you with that. Again, that is literally an issue, sorry, stand over here. Sorry, Mr. McCormick, that is literally an issue of, over the years, Chiquessa has acquired different small parcels of land, and it is all land courted, and because of the way it was land courted, it had to be two different parcels.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments, remarks? Seeing none, I will then invite questions. Further questions from the none? Okay, anyone here from the federal organizations who wish to speak? State? Local? Seeing none, we will now invite any further questions from the public. Seeing none, thank you. I will now ask for a motion to close the hearing in a record.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. to
Mr.
close
Chair,
the- Yes.
You want to deliberate on the probable benefits and detriments before you close your hearing and record?
I will simply follow in the sequence here. I had my ankles broken for stepping outside of it. So it says here that the deliberation is following, ask for a motion. So you want me to change it?
We'll take the advice of our counsel.
Okay. Okay, so we will skip the, we will ask that there be a deliberation now to to identify the benefits and detriments for this project.
Mr. Chairman, I just had a procedural question. In the general findings, I don't know whether we should have a separate motion on limiting it to the issue area of open space. Should that be a separate motion or is that necessary?
I think if you adopt, after you have your discussion about benefits and detriments, then you close the record and the hearing, I think you could move to adopt the decision with the revisions that you direct staff to make. That finding is actually in the decision itself.
Thank you.
Okay. Excuse me. So we will now proceed with identifying benefits and detriments.
Mr. Chairman again. I got the floor today. I would say that a definite benefit would be obviously the 100,000 square feet that's being dedicated to the Conservation Trust.
Okay. Any further? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In reading through the draft of the staff, I see that that they highlight exactly what the I don't want the detriment, I want the other word.
Betterment.
The betterment, and it just fills everything in the DRI, and I just think that that we should just go forward and cast a motion to make it a decision, if we can do that. And I also wanted to note that there was a public hearing on November 15th. The public was all invited, and I don't see any abutters or any town people. I see no opposition to this project, which right in that itself tells me that it is to the good of the community.
Thank you.
Respectfully, I am going to have to suggest that you do have to make findings of specific benefits and detriments. However, I've heard at least two suggestions about what those benefits could be. One, that there has been no opposition, perhaps, and the other, that the open space qualifies as a benefit.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would concur with my colleague in part and disagree in part, in line with the counsel we've just received, that in fact there is, I've noted the same thing in the record, there is no instance that I can see with regard to any negatives coming from the public or any commentary from testimony that speaks against the project. I would see that as a potential benefit of the project. And again, I would see that as a benefit, but I'm going to disagree with my colleague that we probably need a little bit more deliberation before we move to a vote.
Is that a result of you now studying law? I'm not sure I understood exactly what you want us to do.
I think Howard Carr said I didn't come here to be made sport of.
No, I'm trying to understand exactly what we want to do. Are you suggesting that that's a third condition that we could add? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to clarify, in line with Mr. Eidman's advice there, I agree with Joanne from Sandwich that the fact that there is no opposition that we see in the record, that would be a potential benefit we could register for this project.
Okay, thank you. So now I have 3 items. Are there any further suggestions, detriments, or benefits? So then, can we agree that we have 3 benefits and that in fact there are no detriments?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the probable benefits from the proposed development is greater than the probable detriment.
They are?
Second.
What are
As
the,
noted.
we're going to list these things in the document. So we were saying that the 100 square foot of property being conveyed, is that one of them?
That would be one.
And the second one, lack of opposition, and the third one?
I'll give you a third one.
I think if we look at the last paragraph, it's also going to be some space that would be recreation for the entire community. Is that correct, Ms. Inman? Is a section of that?
Okay, so we now have 4 then, because you said the other one was no opposition to the project.
I'm uncomfortable telling you that there's going to be public access and recreation there because
Okay, thank you. So how do we proceed? Yes?
It's consistent with the LCP.
Mr. Chair, may I suggest something? That you make a specific motion as to what those benefits are. Perhaps I haven't heard any detriments, that you make a specific motion that there are no detriments, that you direct staff to revise the staff report accordingly, and if you see so fit, choose to do so, that you move to adopt the recommended decision as revised.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, if you can get that. In a letter from the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife, at first, well, what does determine that this project was currently proposed?
Is your mic on?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, is your mic on?
Oh, yeah. In a letter from the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife, I'd like to know what determined that this project as currently proposed will not result in a prohibited take of state-listed rare species. So there's a taking of some rare species. Okay, wait a minute.
Could I?
No, not yet.
Okay. Okay.
It says prohibited take. That means to me that taking some rare species, that's a detriment. No?
May I continue?
Yeah.
Okay. That is a term of art the NHESP program uses, that you'll find in every letter they use. A prohibited take means you are not allowed to take something, and this will not result in a prohibited take. This is what's referred to commonly as a no-take letter. There are priority species on site. The applicant worked with the NHESP program basically this is a letter we commonly use to sign off on comments from the NHESP program. So no, there will not be a take associated with this land division.
Thank you. Heather?
For the record, Heather McElroy. I was nodding and shaking my head because I agree the language is confusing. It's a double negative, but I completely agree with Mr. Eidman's comments.
I stand approval of my question.
Thank you. So can we now proceed with identifying those benefits that to be included? They will include the 100 square foot open space being granted. 100,000, sorry. 100,000 square foot of land being conveyed, excuse me, compliance with the LCP,
Yes.
and,
No opposition.
oh yes, thank you, and no opposition. So those are the 3 that we're looking for? Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
I think when you have a clear-cut document where each category has certainly surpassed the scrutiny and the staff has done their due diligence, that you find that all things are in order and there's no conflict in any one of the categories, whether it's water resources and the whole document that we have there. Sometimes it's difficult to find specifically. The whole document complies, and as Chairman Harris pointed out with the LCP, so that it certainly is a benefit to the community, and it's really sort of simple and straightforward. We shouldn't be struggling so hard on the benefits.
Thank you. Fine. With that, I would entertain a motion to approve these three benefits.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we will include three benefits as aforementioned. All those, I'm sorry, any additional comments, suggestions, or remarks? Seeing none, all those in favor state so, saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, thank you. Our next item is detriments. We indicated that there are no detriments, is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So I will entertain a motion accordingly.
So moved.
It has been moved that there are no detriments to the approval of this project.
Second.
It has been moved and second. There are no detriments to this project. All those in favor? Sorry. Any further comments or remarks? Seeing that.
Are we going to take John Edmonds' suggestion and direct the staff to make this our decision?
Yes, when I get down to the next
Okay,
one.
thank you.
I've just been, I had my ankles broken from following the directions, so I'm gonna follow it. So, I understand, I'm just being sure that I haven't forgotten anything. Yeah, so there's a motion on the floor. I'm sorry, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a question I wanted to clarify. I think it's cleared here in the record with regard to archaeological and historic assets and resources. We do have a letter from Mass Historic stating that there are undisturbed portions of the parcel that are considered by Mass Historic to potentially be archaeologically sensitive, but that at the time that any type of construction were to commence or be considered, Mass Historic would be further contact. Is that correct?
Well, in fact, what happened is the applicant did choose to have an intensive archaeological survey of the property. And I think there's probably another letter in your file, which is a sign-off indicating that a survey had been undertaken and no significant archaeological resources were discovered during that survey. So that, again, is a typical standard letter we would allow to sign off on those resource areas. Certainly, if there were archaeological resources found, that issue area would have been part of our review in the same sense that if a take had occurred, that issue or sub-issue area would have been part of our analysis, and we would not have excluded that from what we suggested the Commission look at in its review.
Thank you for clarifying. So no concern in that area then, it looks like.
If I could just add, that's also recorded in the draft decision that you have before you.
Thank you. Any further comments? So, the motion on the floor is that there are no detriments that have been identified in this project. Any further comments or remarks? Seeing none, all those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Thank you. Therefore, yeah, this is confusing here.
You've made a motion that, about the benefits, you've made a motion about the detriments. Now, you could make a motion that the benefit of the proposed project outweighs or is greater than the possible detriment.
Yeah, exactly, but I was reading that, I was sort of repeating myself, but I will entertain a motion to move that the probable benefits for the proposed development is greater than the probable detriments.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor? Sorry, let me go back again. Any comments or remarks? All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Thank you. Lastly, I move to approve the limited DRI application of the Chickasaw Yacht and Country Club with condition and to approve the written decision as amended.
Yeah, you could close the hearing on record. I apologize.
Yeah, now you want to do that before or afterwards?
Before you approve the...
Before I make this statement.
Yes.
You and the council have to get together because you have to raise the change. Yeah, okay, it's the woodshed out back.
I can repeat my motion that I made earlier, that it would close the hearing on the record.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to close the record in the hearing. All those in favor, state so.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Thank you. All right. Yeah?
Proceed.
Yeah? Okay. I move to approve the limited DRI application of the Chickasaw Yacht and Country Club with conditions and to approve the draft written decision as amended.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any further comments or remarks? Seeing none. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. The next item on the agenda, oh yes, so the project is approved. So the next item on the agenda is a notification of withdrawal of the Pro Golf driving range and longest drive. Yes.
Hello, for the record, my name is Andrea Adams. I'm the Senior Regulatory Planner and the Project Manager for this project. You should have in your commission packets a memorandum from me dated November 19th, 2012 with a couple of attachments. The Cape Cod Commission received a referral of this project on October 9th, 2012 from Daniel Fortier, the Dennistown Planner. It consisted of an approval not required or A&R plan that proposed to modify a parcel of land subject to a 1990 development of regional impact, the Kroll Golf driving range / longest drive in Dennis. The driving range that was ultimately constructed was on 19 acres of a larger 37-acre parcel located off of Great Western Road in Dennis, and that was in 1991 or 92. Enclosed with the memo is a copy of an email from Daniel Fortier, the Dennistown Planner, notifying the Cape Cod Commission that the proposed project, which is the boundary amendment or the A&R, had been withdrawn from consideration by the Planning Board. Also enclosed with your memo is a copy of a letter from Mr. Caterino, the project applicant, to the Dennistown Clerk on Friday, November 16th, 2012, withdrawing the project from local review. Based on this, Commission staff suggests that the Cape Cod Commission could vote to accept the withdrawal of the proposed A&R plan from DRI review. I've been in contact with both Mr. Caterino and Mr. Fortier. I explained that the matter before the Commission was basically to affect or acknowledge the project as being withdrawn. That's why you probably don't see them here today, but they were aware of it. So that's my staff report on this project. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from my colleagues?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'll make a motion that the Cape Cod Commission vote to formally accept the withdrawal of the proposed A&R plan from Development Regional Impact Review.
Second.
It's been moved and second that the withdrawal be effected as requested without prejudice. Any further comments, remarks? Seeing none, all those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. Project withdrawal. All right. Next item on the agenda, yes? Other business. Seeing none, any comments from my colleagues?
Yes, I have a question on the calendar that was just handed to us for December. It says the last on the page is Thursday, December 19. I think it's the 20th. Am I not correct?
We'll talk to the clerk.
According to my calendar, it's the 20th. Thursday.
2013?
Oh, no, 12. Oh, wait, what? Oh, it is the 3rd. Oof, thank you. You're way ahead of me.
Okay. Any further? Then I'll entertain. Sorry, yes.
I just wanted to, through the chair, to Patty Foley, I just didn't know what we were doing to reach out so that we could fill some of the vacancies. It's a lonely room without having them all filled, and is there anything that we can do to spread the word? I mean, people are missing all this fun.
Thank you. We have met as a staff a couple of times now, and we have another meeting set up internally. We're also setting up a meeting with, I believe from the executive committee, Peter Graham, Jack, and Roy Richardson. We're going to work with the staff on identifying some options for trying to attract additional members to fill those vacancies.
Do you have any idea what the target dates are to try to get to them?
Well, I believe we have a tentative meeting scheduled with 3 commission reps on December 13th, I want to say, or 14th. It's the day of the next commission meeting.
Okay, any further? I entertain a motion that we leave.
So moved. Second.
Second. Close the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Thank you.